Hello, everyone. This is Laura Johnson from Hummingbird Wealth Management here in Frederick, Maryland. And today I have Chelsea Hamilton. Chelsea is the owner of Jimmie Cone. They have locations in both Mount Airy and Frederick. And the reason we're interviewing Chelsea today is not only to get to know her a little bit more, but this is part of our series in Get to Know Frederick. Jimmie Cone was a finalist for Best Frozen Treats and Best Place for Dessert in the Best of Frederick for 2021. Hi, Chelsea.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, Chelsea, this interview is really for us, for me to get to know Jimmie Cone a little bit better, but also to share that with the community and give them the opportunity to let them know a little bit more about you as well. So, Chelsea, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and about Jimmie Cone?
So Jimmie Cone is our family business. I am a new owner of Jimmie Cone. I grew up in the Mount Airy area, went to Linganore High School along with my husband, and we both still live in Mount Airy with our two kids. Jimmie Cone has been in my family since 1990 when my dad bought the business with a location in Damascus. He opened the second location in 1997. And my husband and I just recently bought the business from him in 2021. So Jimmie Cone has been around for a long time, but I am a new owner. However, I've been with it, fairly long as well.
Yeah. So you've been an employee, now you're the owner, right?
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about, I have the question as services, but tell me a little bit about what Jimmie Cone offers.
We are a small ice cream shop, like Laura said, with locations in Damascus and Mount Airy, a seasonal soft serve shop. We're open from St. Patrick's Day until Halloween, and then we're closed through the winter months. Not much has changed since it opened in 1962, to be honest with you. We always have chocolate and vanilla ice cream and a third optional flavor. We have sundaes, milkshakes, flurries, no indoor seating. It's a walk-up service window, and mostly high school and college kids working for us. But it's kind of just a step back in time, if you will, when people come there. Like I said, not much has changed, and we remain pretty much the same all 60 years of business.
So you mentioned your staff, you have high schoolers in college. I mean, I would imagine that it's probably a good job for them and a good memory for them. Tell me a little bit about your staff.
So the age that we typically hire, the soonest we hire is age 15. And the idea is that they come back, every summer through their high school and hopefully through their college career. It's really great practice for them in customer service, handling conflict, obviously making food products, handling money and change. I do a phone interview with them when I bring them on. So again, that's very informal, but just really good practice for them for life skills. But yeah, so all high school and mostly, college age kids that come back year after year until they're ready to go into the big world.
Yeah. So what some people on watching this interview right now probably don't know is my youngest son, Liam, started working there when he was 14, and he actually misses it. He's gone off into the real world, so to speak. And he's like, gosh, I like the good old days when I was working at Jimmie Cone. And he did, like you said, learned a lot of customer service skills and business management type of skills. So definitely a great experience. So you kind of mentioned your clients, but tell me a little bit more about the customers that come to see you guys at Jimmie Cone.
So we have customers of all ages, again, but I think the cool thing about being around for so long is that people come and they bring their kids, and now you have people that bring their grandkids. And so they like that it's exactly the same for the most part as it was when they came as a child. Mm-hmm. So people of all ages, you have your older folks who come, on the day once a week, every day, or get the same product every single time, down to little kids. So it's definitely a fun experience, a tasty experience for all ages.
It is definitely tasty. I have my favorites for sure. So I would assume that attracting your clients, it probably has a lot to do with word of mouth. Is there anything else that you guys do to bring attention to Jimmie Cone?
We have a large social media following, so just through Facebook and a little bit on Instagram. But yeah, like you said, word of mouth. we are in the community. We try to support local organizations, sports teams, schools. Macaroni Kid does the Cool School Contest for schools in the area. And so we donate a coupon for a free small cone to the winner of that school. So maybe that coupon gets into the hand of a child whose family has never been to Jimmie Cone, and they come and then the whole family gets to experience it. But I think through COVID, there was a lot of social media groups that were really looking to support local businesses. So whenever someone comes, especially to Damascus, having been there for 60 years, and they say, oh, this is my first time. I'm like, well, what took you so long? Either they're new to the area, or maybe they live kind of on the outskirts of Damascus, further into Montgomery County. So it's a little bit of a hike, but those shop local groups kind of spotlighted different places in the community. And so when people were home, they were like, oh, let's take a day trip and go get ice cream. So I think that has definitely helped the push to shop local, whether it's, in Montgomery County, or there's a big shop local Frederick page as well. So through social media and word of mouth, just a history of being around for a long time has helped.
Yeah. So what is interesting that you said is that some people take a day trip to get ice cream. That's one of my fondest memories when I was a young child. We had just moved to Montgomery County in Olney, and our parents would take us on a day trip to Jimmie Cone in Damascus. And I used to think, oh my gosh, where are we going? We're out in the middle of nowhere. But it was definitely a lot of fun. And now it's just right here in my backyard. And unfortunately or fortunately, I'm there very often. And it's also funny what you said about, you get people that keep coming back. I get to see a lot of people and catch up with a lot of people just sitting there at the picnic tables. I go to the one in Mount Airy, just sitting there at the picnic tables, people I went to high school with, or people from, church or different groups. So it's definitely a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's a social experience.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think like, well, gosh, people are willing to wait in line. We can't control how long the line gets. And so sometimes you can wait in line for a half an hour. But it's really part of the whole experience of getting there. Chances are while you're there, you're going to see someone, whether it's while you're waiting in line or while you're sitting at the picnic table. So it's not just going up and getting your ice cream cone. I think it's the whole social experience that makes it what it is.
Yeah. So tell me about some of the obstacles that you have faced. You mentioned COVID. How did that affect you? And what are some other things that may have affected your business and growth?
Again, being a new business owner, it's hard to say my own obstacles. I can speak to the history of since I've been an employee. COVID was a huge one. We were not forced to shut down because we were just carry out, but because of the large crowds that we attracted and the fact that social distancing and masking wasn't common practice early in 2020, we closed on our own accord for 2-3 months and lost a really good portion of our season. So that was a huge challenge. And then figuring out how to open back up safely. We had to remove all of our picnic tables, make sure employees were trained on protocol, wearing masks, social distancing, and having to enforce those with the public. I mean, it was a challenge for everyone. I would say as I'm getting ready to open in just a couple weeks for my new season, the challenges I'm seeing now are the increases in cost of everything. Using a petroleum-based plastic cup, those prices have now doubled. So figuring out how that kind of all works. I haven't had the challenge of the labor force. A lot of people ask me that. Do you have trouble getting people to work? But I think because of the demographic of our staff, we haven't seen that. The high schoolers and the college kids are eager to get to work. And so that has not been a problem. But for now, it's just the cost of things and the availability, making sure that we can get the products that we need to be open. But I'm hopeful that things are kind of more on a track to normalcy post-COVID this season. And so I'm looking forward to getting back to that.
Yeah, it's crazy how something like COVID has affected all kinds of businesses in different ways, some of them in good ways and some of them in not so great ways. And the challenge, like you're saying, of getting supplies. I mean, we've seen it in a lot of different, restaurant industries, which is where you guys fall, but also in the automobile industry. There's a lot of industries that are having supply and demand issues for sure. So if you were to give another business owner, and I know you're fresh and new into owning this business, but if you were to give another business owner some kind of nugget of information that you'd like to share, what would that be?
I think the biggest thing for me so far has been reaching out to other similar business owners, knowing that they're not just my competition, that they can be a resource for me. Locally, I've connected with Crystal, who owns Beef and Buns up in Frederick, and we offer similar products. She has more than I do, and the fact that she has food, but just, hey, where are you getting this product this year? It's been difficult to get, and being able to support her as well. Another girl that I've not met in person, but via social media, owns a shop. She's close to my age, has children my age, and owns a shop in West Virginia. And it's on my list to get up there this year to reach out to her and support her business and check out her product. So kind of embracing that, and being that it's, hey, small women-owned businesses, and that we have a similar platform, and they can be a resource and a support to me. We can celebrate the highs together, and they can kind of walk through me through some of the challenges. So seeing them as a resource versus a competition.
And you know what? It's awesome that you're doing that, Chelsea. I've seen a number of businesses, and some of them that I'm interviewing through this process, that seems to be a nugget of information a lot of them share, is that we're not in competition. We're here to help and support each other through some of these difficult journeys, but also celebrate each other's success. Gym owners, martial arts, restaurants, these are the people that I've been interviewing, and they're like, oh yeah, I mean, if they're successful and I'm successful and we all have, we're able to play a part in that, I think that says a lot about your character. And I think that's awesome. So you mentioned March 17th, it's just around the corner. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll have a line. How do people who are watching this video find Jimmie Cone?
So Jimmie Cone in Mount Airy is located at 1312 South Main Street in the Food Lion Shopping Center. Our Damascus location is 26420 Ridge Road, right across the street from the McDonald's. The best way to get information on us is to follow us on Facebook. That's where I post flavor updates, counting down till our opening day, and any kind of information you might need to see. We do have a website, it's just jimmycone.com. Again, but for that more kind of constant, up-to-date, detailed information, following us on Facebook is your best bet.
Well, Chelsea, thank you so much for taking the time. I know I'm excited about you guys opening up again, as are many members of the different communities that you guys serve. So everybody, thanks again for taking the opportunity to listen to this video in our series of Getting to Know Frederick, with all of our interviews of Best of Frederick winners as well as finalists. And keep following us on Hummingbird Wealth on the social media platform. Thanks.